Hello everybody! My name is Kirkland and welcome to Nitrous Racing League, where today we're going to be tackling the Austin GP in the United States. The track is a 5.5 kilometer long track made out of 20 corners, 6 slow speed, 6 medium speed and 8 fast speed corners. It has also 2 DRS zones, one on the start-finish straight and one in Sector 2, which is the longest straight out of the two. Sector 1 is a very technical and very easy place to get penalties, so if you overshoot there or if you push too much you will get a lot of penalties, so be sure to not do that. And there are also sausage curbs there, which will send your car flying like a rocket ship. It also steals from Suzuka, based in Japan, the infamous Sector 1, so we can expect to see a lot of spins happening there at that place. Sector 3 of the track steals from Istanbul's most demanding corner, Turn 8, which is present here in corners 16, 17 and 18 in the middle of Sector 3. Commentating alongside me today is a special guest, Ryan. How are you doing today? This is your first commentary in this league, so how are you feeling about it, and are you looking forward to the rest of the season?
Hi. I'm buzzing for this, if I'm honest. The first track I get to commentate is Kota. That's pretty cool. As you said, Sector 1 being an absolutely demanding thing on tyres and whatnot. Sector 3 stealing from Istanbul, one of my most favourite corners of any F1 track. Love this circuit. Looking forward to a fantastic race. Heard of a few threat drivers who might be looking for the podium, so yeah, absolutely buzzing. Glad to be alongside yourself. Yeah, that's it.
Of course. And we are heading into the qualifying session. Looks like we might have a little bit of rain happening in Austin, which is quite uncommon. But a few drivers going on mediums, so maybe not. But we still have 18 minutes left in the session, so anything can still happen. We have a short qualifying made out of 18 minutes, which will make the grid for the race, which is going to be half of the real life race. So we will have 28 laps today. Makes a lot of opportunities to do a 2-stop, maybe a 1-stop, but Austin is a pretty medium tire track. It's quite okay. A 2-stop would be beneficial because of very difficult corners in Sector 1 and Sector 3, like we mentioned already. But what do you think the possible strategies might be for our drivers today?
Well, unfortunately the grid is quite small this week. Various people having to do various things. You know, real life comes first before league racing, of course. But the grid being quite small opens up a lot of opens up more of an interesting qualifying session to me, because the rule is that obviously top 10 have to start the race on the compound that they've picked, but there's only 9, so we'll see what people are gonna do in qualifying, see if they might want to start on mediums. If you start on mediums, it's a very, very easy one stop in my opinion, because fuel loads later on in the track don't become as problematic for the soft tires, which on the earlier laps with the heavy fuel can wear quite quickly, especially on a track like this where there's a lot of high demanding corners with high speed downforce, dedicated corners. Yeah, I think the qualifying is what you have to look out for. If there's anyone on mediums, they probably are in the ascendancy to have a very, very nice little race if they can keep it clean, keep it safe. We'll have to see. I believe out on track first is the McLaren. So yeah, just sort of following along him at the moment on the medium tyres, just warming them up, and he looked like he's just about to start his lap.
Of course, we are going to be on board with him as he is our first one. Like you have said, he is just starting his flying lap. Like we said, there is a DRS zone at the start-finish straight. There is a long hold up until the turn 1, which is actually a uphill going to a pretty tricky turn 1 left-hander, and then into a downhill. Very difficult corner to master. As you've seen, Lucas McGinty locks up. Now going into the technical Sector 1. Like we said, you go right, left, or right, left. easy to lose control of your car. This part is a uphill again. You have to be really easy on the throttle, like McGinty wasn't, and you lose a lot of control of the rear of the car, but because it's an uphill. You're usually in 4th gear, so be careful on that part to not spin. Going on to the second main straight, which is the longest part of the track. Probably getting to around 310 kilometers per hour, maybe more if you have slipstream and if you use ERS, but looks like McGinty has already bailed on that lap as he is not using any ERS actually. Now going into turn 13, the wind is actually pushing on the back to the front of the car, so very easy corner to master as well. You lose a lot of the traction. And now we are going to turns 16, 17 and 18, like I said, very close to Istanbul's turn 8, but it is flat out, unlike Istanbul. Then we have turn 19 and turn 20 is the final corner, a left-hander, very tricky to master as well. You wanna go on the inside, but not too much to invalidate. And McGinty actually sets a lap time of a 1:36.751. Which is not bad, but he was not using ERS that lap, so definitely could be improved.
Currently watching the Red Bull of Patrick Sogard come around the final corner. Is an entire second and 1.4 seconds faster than Lucas McGinty, who I believe has just spun.
Yes, he has.
Binned it.
I was on board with him, yeah.
There.
I think he touched the inside curb and that sent him flying into the barrier as he has lost the front left tire of his car. Very unfortunate indeed.
The Aston Martin of Mutant Unlimited going for provisional pole on the soft tires. I think there's more pace in the mediums on qualifying maybe, but who knows? Some people could be going for like qualifying-esque setups and might be struggling a bit more in the race. Ooh, the Alpine might get blocked by the Red Bulls a little bit if they're not careful. Red Bull's been very wide, fair play.
So if you haven't noticed yet, we are missing some essential people. The two Mercedes boys and Giovanni in the AlphaTauri. They are not present today. I really don't know why, but that means that other people actually have a challenge and a shot to be on the title fight. Probably not a big of a chance because there is quite a gap between the Mercedes boys and everyone else, as they were dominating. Eduardo especially taking 3 wins already. But I guess we'll have to wait and see if they will come up for the next race.
So far, seeing at the moment 2 like protagonists of this race, in my opinion, at the moment, Mutant Unlimited and Ernest. They are like seconds in front of the rest of the pack. Mutant Unlimited, especially being 1.2 seconds faster than Ernest, even, and then Ernest being about, I think that's 1.2. Math not very good. But so Beat Bass has just gone purple in the second sector, so. But looks like he's just failed.
And we still have 2 people that haven't set a lap time. HD Storm currently on a flyer, and CRX Mars, who is currently on a outlap as HD Storm actually invalidates his lap.
Unfortunate for the Williams driver there. Going back through the grid, actually, McGinty's spinning isn't and smashing his car up might actually work in his favor because he gets choice of any tire, right? Is he DNF qualifying?
I don't think so. I think because he already set the lap time on those mediums, he will probably have to start on those. But I don't know how the game will cope with there having 9 drivers. I really don't know.
I think you still qualify on the tires that you setting. That you still start on the tires that you set in quali. So going by that logic, starting on the mediums, even if you do bin your car in qualifying, might actually work in his favor.
Maybe, as CRS Marks is just cutting every single corner,
every corner
of the track.
enjoying his time there, sightseeing the streets of Kota. Yeah, going on board with the other Haas that is on going to be 3-lap-old mediums if he completes this lap. Probably should come in low on ERS as well, but it looks like he is flooring it.
Wait, it is mediums for you.
Oh, sorry, softs. My bad.
Oh, I thought that there were some connection issues, or maybe a bug in the lobby.
No, that was my bad. I am blind as it may seem. I don't think this lap is going to be faster for the Haas, considering he is coming near to the single digits on the ERS scale. You do gain quite a bit through the beginning of sector 3, but when you start full blasting it around the triple right-hander that Istanbul also has, well, I think in Istanbul it's left. It doesn't bode well for your ERS levels. You don't really gain a lot through Kota, do you? My memory serves. You use it, it's nearly gone for the rest of it. Hard to regain.
I don't know. I've just received confirmation that the two Mercedes that were leading the constructors have left the league.
Oh. Okay, so the league kind of opened up for people.
But that also begs the question with people. We don't have a lot of people racing, which is the problem. We have 9 today. We have 9 today. We could have had 11. What about Giovanni in the AlphaTauri? He should be leading with 1 win, I think. He's also not racing today, which is very unfortunate. Thank you for the follow, Curlade. I'm sorry for the.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I pronounced that name wrong. I hope you enjoy the commentary and the race today.
Currently watching the Red Bull of Patrick, I want to say Surgard, because of the O has the line through it. Went purple sector 1, so I'm quite interested in what he does in the second sector. We'll see if it is once again a purple sector for the Red Bull, as he brakes hard into the corner leading into sector 3. It is not purple, but he is up by 5 tenths, so might be close to those purple lap times.
It won't put him on pole position, because if he is only improving by 5 tenths, he will probably get to P3, depending on how he takes sector 3, which he's taking quite aggressively, taking all of the track and all of the outside curb after turn 19. Now he's at the final part of the corner. Well, 133.9.
Right. Oh, close.
Very close. Yes, very close indeed. But no one is in the 32s except for Mutant.
For Mutant. As Ernest has invalidated his lap time. The Alpine, unfortunate there. They're currently sitting P2. Might be a bit scared of that being taken away from Patrick Surgard. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see how this... as Sabibus goes P2. Didn't see the Aston Martin there.
It's currently a Aston Martin front low lockout at the moment. There is still 6 minutes remaining in the session, and Mars and HG Storm still haven't set a lap time. But yeah, Saab did pass a very impressive lap time of a 133.5. Still not close to his teammate though. 8 tenths off.
He seems to be romping it, yeah. Yeah. The two Aston Martins being in 1-2 will probably look very nice on the grid, but spells unfortunate situations for the rest of the drivers there, because they could work together. You know, like if they plan on using a little bit of team play to sort of tow themselves along at the beginning stages of this race, then they will just leave the rest of the field.
Of course. Currently on a on a fast lap is Gods, I think. And he has. We are currently on board with him. The number 67 driver. Let's see what he can do. Maybe he can get closer to maybe the second row. He is 8/10 a difference, as Mutant actually puts the fastest lap time of a 1:32.4. 1 second
Oh
faster
dear.
than his teammate.
Well,
Very impressive.
we have our protagonist for this race.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely a very, very nice lap time from the Aston Martin there. And
Oh,
again,
good
if he can
spins.
drag along Sabibas's teammate, then they are just going to lead the rest of the field if Sabibas can keep up with them.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but Gots has invalidated and spun. He has done a 360 because he was probably bored of that lap. And nearly crashes into the pit wall as he spins.
So we just have Mars on his outlap. Just going to start his outlap now, actually, as we're just going to go on board with him. Or I am. Coming down into turn 1, hard braking zone. Difficult corner is he said, but he's immediately invalidated because he's mistimed the braking, I believe.
That is very unfortunate indeed, as he hasn't set a lap time yet, as well as a HD Storm. I don't know how you can mess up so much after 18 minutes of the qualifying session. 18 is a lot of time.
Unfortunately, we've come to the part of qualifying where if you're on an outlap, you have to like rush round to get your lap in, because at least if you want to keep your tires healthy, because unfortunately when you finish your lap after the time, the AI takes over and then just runs your tires ragged for some reason. Oh, Patrick is retired.
I cannot see what
retirement?
happened.
Oh, is it in the pits? No, it's just on the entry to the pit lane, from what I can see on the map.
Maybe he crashed into the wall on the inside. I cannot see.
Red flags for qualifying F1 gameplays.
Probably for the race could be better if he had like
definitely.
20 million retirements and then a red flag. Please, 2022, please do it.
I'm actually really looking forward to 2022. The new design of the cars looks amazing.
Oh, definitely. I especially love the Aston Martin and the Ferrari liveries. They look phenomenal.
The Ferrari reminds me of like the 1990 Ferrari.
Oh,
at the
yes.
End, at the Alan Prost with the black front wing and whatnot. They just look really good.
Yes,
The
definitely.
McLaren as well. Whew.
I also like that the sponsor for Ferrari, Santander, who left in 2018, I think, has rejoined in F1. So they are currently one of the main sponsors of Ferrari again, and their logo just sits perfectly on the front end plate of the car.
Yeah, 100%. It looks very clean and very smooth for that Ferrari. Do miss the Santander logo being on the Ferrari, not gonna lie.
Yeah, same.
As Mars is currently on another lap.
Maybe he
And
cannot
so is Storm.
invalidate.
And so hopefully he does not invalidate, as I'm just going to be on board with the Williams driver of HD Storm as well. Just going to keep an eye on. Let's see if Mars goes purple in the middle sector. He does not, but it's a 106 for the middle sector. I've been seeing 104s there, so I'm not quite sure where that's going to put him. Storm, I think, hit about a 104, so not too bad for the Williams as he's going through sector 3.
Oh, Mars is using all of the track on the outside.
He's just gone very wide into the penultimate corner. Braking hard into turn 20, coming round. Bit slow on exit. Let's see where it puts him. 139. Unfortunate as Storm comes to the last corner, turn 20. Actually, in my opinion, quite difficult to get this right, especially the power down on the exit. As he comes through, and 136 puts him P7.
Haas is not gonna be happy with this qualifying session, as this is their home race and their drivers are P5 and P9, with Mars almost 8 seconds slower than P1, which you don't want to see from an F1 driver. I hope that he can improve in the race, but he was really struggling.
Mutant Unlimited going out for the final lap, as well as a Red Bull behind him, completing a lap, so the man who is probably going to be our pole sitter for the race this week, going out for his final lap, is going to be on board with him because it looks very quick. See if he goes even faster. The track is at its fastest as we speak. Comes round into sector 1. He goes purple once again.
With 2/10 almost.
Up. Yeah. Quite scary how some guys have just got the pace around certain tracks, eh?
He's coming out to the main straight right now, opening the DRS in 50 meters. And this is actually very interesting. So both of the Mercedes drivers that were leading the championship have left, and then we have another incident with Mutant now dominating everything, as he doesn't put the fastest sector, but he still improves by 1/10, and he locks up a lot in turn 13 and goes very wide in 15. Let's see how he does the rest of sector 3.
Love watching the cars go through turn 16, 17 and 18. Those look so good.
Definitely. We will have to wait and see with the new cars as well.
Oh, look! Oh, it's got a bit wide. Is it going to invalidate? No, but it does go faster.
By 2/10, a 1:32.255. Very, very impressive indeed, as he is a second and a half faster than the rest of the field. As he puts P1. It's a front low lockout for the Aston Martin boys, so they are going to be pretty happy to reduce the points gap to Mercedes in the constructors. Next we have Ernest and Patrick in the second row of the grid, Gods and Diegos in the third row, HD Storm and McGinty in the fourth row, and Mars is starting behind everyone with a time which was 7 seconds slower.
I genuinely think McGinty might be in a good spot, you know, because of those mediums. If the game will
well, I hope he does
run it that way.
We both have raced with McGinty, so we know his pace. He is very fast. So
he's got a bit about him. He does indeed. As we're just waiting for the grid or the game to say formation lap time. Yeah, he has a bit about him. He does get very quick, very quick at certain tracks. Unfortunately, that isn't able to put in a soft time, so we don't know his true pace. But a 36 on the mediums,
not too shabby.
That's horrible, especially at the beginning, when the track is not as rubbered in as it is at the end.
I guess we'll have to wait and see, as we are currently waiting for the formation lap to start. That gives our drivers an opportunity to heat up their tires just before the start of the race, and if they do, it will give them the advantage after the lights go out. And there we go, we are starting.
Just gonna watch the formation lap of being led by Mutant Unlimited. So Beatbath right behind him. The two Aston Martins are obviously, as I said before, locking out the front row. Again, if they can work together and get out of that 1 second gap that is so crucial to get out of, then we're possibly looking at a 1-2 for the boys in green. Right behind Ernest in the Alpine. Not a bad qualifying session from him. Patrick Sogard joining him on the second row. CRX Goads in the Haas, and right behind his Red Bull teammate on the grid, I want to say Diegos. Again, we're not quite sure about what the pace of these guys are going to be, especially on the tyres. See what tyres they're actually on. Yeah, Lucas McGinty is starting on those mediums all the way down in P8, but maybe towards the end of the race he can claw back some positions. Alternate strategy can be quite strong because you can do a one-stop a lot easier because the mediums are so durable on 50% races.
And we also, I think, have an instance of rain maybe happening at the later stages of the race, as it was overcast. So we don't really know because us spectators and commentators don't really have the opportunity to
Access to
look.
the weather.
Yes, which is very stupid. For 11 years or how many years Codemasters have made F1 games, they never thought of spectators looking at the weather. How did that come to mind? So
Even if it was just like the approximate setting and the drivers get exact, it would be nice for us to be like, oh yeah, there might be rain at the end, so stay tuned, you know. But we don't get that luxury.
and in real life they do. It's unfair.
Yeah, good old Crofty sitting there going, oh, there's going to be rain in 5 minutes. You might as well be a race engineer in this, you know, like. But as they are lining up for the grid, if you would like to take it away for the start of this race.
Of course. Thank you for the privilege. Everyone is currently going out to their grid slots, as McGinty is the one that is actually lacking behind. Probably had a spin or intentionally went slow to make sure that everyone in front of him was with cold tires, with him on mediums. Mediums are
Don't call
pretty... Yes?
Don't call me out like that. I do that. Don't call me out.
I won't next time. As we actually see some rain droplets happening, and we have 5 red lights. It is a long hold up as always, and we are underway for the Austin GP as Sabatbass actually gets a really good start on his teammate Mutant. He has the inside line. He might take the win as Patrick tries to go on the inside as well, as we already have a spin with Gods. But Mutant is currently leading this Grand Prix, so he stays P1, Sabatbass is currently P2, and there is actually a fight for the final spot on the podium with Patrick and Ernest. In P3 and P4, McGinty actually moves up 3 positions to P5, so that's very good for him. Yes.
Blades of the McLaren right there.
And everything is going away safely, except for that spin from Gods. But yeah.
Mutant has already pulled a 1.3 second gap to Sabatbass.
I think we were expecting that.
Yeah, there's a very good, a bit of a pace differential. So, seeing what will happen, Mutant might just walk away with the race. But Ernest is currently overtaking the Red Bull of Patrick's Sogard. Nice overtake into turn 12 from the straight. Not sure how. Used a relative amount of ERS there, so McGinty just keeping up on those medium tyres. If the rain does come, that's really unfortunate for the medium runner, because if it comes later, then he's only having to do 1 stop, right? So let's see if he can make some moves on these mediums against these soft runners. The softs do drop off really heavily most of the time, so we'll see what happens. Mutant just putting in a time that would probably have beaten some of the qualifying times from some of the on the first lap of the race.
But Mars is actually keeping up very closely to his teammate, just ahead of him with the Gods in P8 and Mars in P9. Haas is not having a really good day today, as this is their home race. Maybe they have way too much pressure on their hands to deliver, but we do not know, as McGinty actually is very near on Patrick, right up his gearbox. He is using ERS, maybe he wants to go. Patrick
on the
defended
outside
the inside.
into turn 11.
Let's see if he makes it
Still
stick.
keeping his front wing in there. Nice exit from the mediums against the softs. It's now just a straight drag race.
As he loses quite a bit of time, and he has the ERS advantage as he is using it currently. Patrick is defending the inside.
Williams.
And I think...
Sorry, carry on, I do apologise.
I think McGinty is the one that is good, but Patrick
He's gonna do a nice dive!
Very close, but doesn't make it. And
The
there
rain
is
is
rain.
falling.
Yes, it is.
There is a bit of rain as the going up into the Alpha P2. The Alpine gonna lose a lot of time being that close going through the triple right-hander, but see, that is nearly an entire second being pulled. It is now a second. Let's see if he can regain some time going through, maybe through sector 1. there might be some setup differentials where some might have a bit lower downforce than the others, so they might be a bit quicker in the straights where you can overtake easily. But rain is definitely falling, as you have said.
I think we might see some people in the pit lane this lap if it starts raining a bit heavier. But of course we don't know yet, as McGinty has pulled a 4/10 lead from Patrick just behind him, and HD Storm and Williams. So he's doing a very good job.
At this stage, I'm screaming at Jeff going, weather report, weather report, weather report, like all the time. Like,
I mean, if we only had one driver to say if it's gonna rain for the entire race, then it would all be easier. But yeah, we don't really have that privilege. But in the interviews later on, which are going to be happening, we can ask them, of course, about the rain. As we have spin.
Reactions were.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but we have a spin with Gods. He has no front wing as he has hit the wall, and we have a virtual safety car.
I wonder if the play here then, for Gods, there's no front wing, it is starting to rain. Hit Parentis? Bit ballsy, but you get ahead of everyone in that aspect. And you probably make up the pit stop, because everyone's going slower.
I think we might see everyone going into the pit lane, as I don't know if it's like this for you, but the rain is coming in quite heavy. And let's see if
yes, the Mutant does not go into the pit lane.
Let's see if his teammate, he doesn't. McGinty and Ernest as well, Patrick and HD as well. No one wants to risk it, but Gods will have to risk it as he has no front wing.
I think God's pulling the inspired strategy move, going onto the inters here might catapult him up the grid since everyone has to go slow. So let's see what his pit stop does entail. See if he does go with the intermediate tires.
As he nearly crashes into the pit wall on the outside, but thankfully no damage, as the virtual safety car is actually staying for a very long time.
He's going on to mediums? Oh, that might be a mistake.
Okay. So that's an indication that rain might be easing off, as DRS is enabled. Interesting.
So the main fight at the moment that I'm looking at is the battle for P4 between Lucas McGinty and Patrick Sergard. The track is looking very wet now.
Definitely. I don't know why Gods went for mediums, because looks like intermediates are going to be the best possible option in like quite a few seconds. Probably around 5.
Making a dive onto the McLaren. Sorry for interrupting you there.
It's okay.
Very close from the DRS disabled, so people are going to be pitting for inters now, I think.
Definitely.
So unfortunate for Gertz. He could have like really made some headway if he just went onto intermediate tires there.
I really don't see why he didn't do it, but let's see if anyone else goes into the pit lane. Mutant, we might see a double stack for the Aston Martins. Let's see if they can make a gap, as Diego's in the Red Bull spins. Mutant as well, nearly in the pit lane.
Ernest is overtaking.
This is close.
Oh, it's in the pit lane! Woo!
I think he got damaged.
Oh, that got So I think maybe the Aston Martin of Mutant is going to get out straight just before some beat bath needs to go in. Lovely double stack from the Aston Martin boys. It's reminiscent of Mercedes last season, majority of the time, with Lewis and Bottas.
Me and Adam need to take notes from them.
yeah. So Beatbass does come out in behind the Alpine of Ernest, because there was maybe some damage on the Aston Martin, forcing some front wing change. But I think this is going to heat up between this battle for P2 stretches all the way from Ernest to HD Storm. They're very close to each other. Storm does drop out of the 1 second, even though DRS is disabled, depending on what the weather likes to do. It's always good to try and keep within that 1 second gap.
As I think we might see a very, very impressive battle for the top two, all the way to P6, as looks like Patrick is trying to go around the inside of Sabbath Pass, but McGinty is taking that opportunity and trying to go around the outside of Patrick. I don't know where he found the room, but it's here.
So we've got a nice little battle going on here. Is it going to be a die from the Red Bull or the McLaren onto the Red Bull? It's a nice move from McGinty. Has he made it stuck? He has, but he's got good exit as well. He might try and go for a move onto the inside of the Aston Martin as well, but there's not enough room. Oh no, they're still side by side.
Oh, there's
Oh, a bit of a
contact!
spin and he's gone!
Oh, that's very unfortunate for the McLaren driver who was doing very well to go to P3.
Maybe a bit too aggressive on the loud there. Especially in wet conditions, it's difficult to judge if you need to be aggressive on those intermediate tyres. Trying to make too many moves in one go, as the Williams of HD Store making a move on Patrick going into the final corner onto the straight.
And
Red Bull
makes it
getting
stick.
a pretty nice exit. I had to slow up because the driver in front was going so slow. Let's see if he wants to make a move going into turn one. Maybe not quite. He's gone for a massive dive bomb.
But thinks better of it as he backs out, and we have a yellow flag. It is, I think, contact with Diego's and Mars behind.
The Haas boys really not having a good performance here. Good. Misunderstanding the strategy a little bit there as Diego's and Mars still fighting out for those final positions. Although it is one of those races, if you finish, you get points, so not bad for the majority of the drivers, as Mutant Unlimited is now 12 seconds ahead.
So let's check the penalties, shall we? We actually only have one from Diego's in the Red Bull. 3 seconds of penalties. Everyone has done a one-stop, going, of course, from softs to intermediates or mediums to intermediates, except for Gods, who unfortunately didn't go for inters, which could have benefited them quite massively.
Yeah, 27 seconds behind P8. He would have, considering the VSC was on for quite a while, he would have been able to jump probably up to about P6 actually, and be within that fight at the beginning of the race on the intermediate conditions. Very unfortunate for him. If he had just risked the intermediates, yeah, they may be one lap older, yeah, they may be slightly overheating before the track is that wet enough, but sometimes playing those risky strategies and making that call is sometimes what you need to do if you're that far behind in the first place.
Of course. We still have a big battle between the top 4, or actually from P2 to P5, as HD Storm is closing in on Mutant's teammate in the Aston Martin Sabbath Pass, as McGinty is actually in the pit lane. Is it time for wets?
Is he going for wets, is he?
He's going for...
Oh, he's got damage on the front wing. Yes,
Oh, that's very unfortunate for Lucas McGinty, who was having a very, very good race for him as he was catching up to the guys in front. Definitely could have fought for P2, but you can't get them all. Maybe we have a safety car later.
So BBAS has now dropped about another 6 tenths going through the first sector. I wonder if there's a lower downforce setup on the Aston Martin compared to the Alpine in front, as HD Storm is very close now, dumping a lot of ERS on this straight as they come flying down to turn 12, but the Aston Martin's so quick in a straight line.
So it is probably a lower downforce setup, but I don't think these drivers will settle it this lap, as Sabbath Pass actually goes very wide and HD Storm tries to go around the inside. Let's see if he makes this move stick, as Sabbath Pass leaves him the room, goes very wide, and HD Storm actually takes P3 in turn 15. Very, very good from the Williams driver.
See if there's going to be a move made back, maybe on the straight going into turn 1. So Bebas would not like the fact, starting on P2, now in P4, he will not like the fact, or they will not like the fact, that they have dropped a couple of positions from the start. Probably really happy with that one, with the prospect of a 1-2, but he's losing so much time coming at the corners, especially the low speed ones.
He probably hasn't practiced in the rain, as his pace dropped very quickly in the wet. In the dry he was okay, but in the wet looks like everything is just going downhill for
HD
almost every
Storm
one of our
is catching up
drivers.
to Ernest, who was about 1.2 seconds ahead at one stage, as Patrick Sergard does get a penalty. Going through sector 1, it is a minefield for it. But HD Storm catching up to Ernest, maybe coming into his own on this wet stint, if it is going to be a stint.
The only problem is that P2 is probably going to be the best position for him, as Mutant has already gained 17 seconds from everyone else.
He's coming up nearly to lap the Heart of CRX gods, as Ernest is going to have to try and defend from HD Storm. But again, I think maybe HD Storm has a higher downforce setup. He's really fast in the corners. Maybe that's why he's doing so well in the wet conditions, because he's got that better grip from the downforce of the car. Maybe he's messed around with the tire pressures and whatnot. Been gone through more of a grippy setup. But Sabibass is now back in the fight because he's had to fight Ernest a little bit. Lost a lot of time with this little duel for P2, which is now between 4 cars.
As we have a yellow flag with Patrick.
Oh, Sabibass has spun!
Oh, that is not good for the Aston Martin driver.
All the way down in P5 now, as it's now going to be a bit of a lonely race for him.
Oh, HD Storm
As Ernest.
HD Storm gets a very good run. He tries to go around the inside as Ernest is not defending at all. He knows that HD Storm is faster. He might get a better exit as he's taken a wider line. But no, he has to stay behind HD Storm.
Who, through this first sector, has been absolutely rapid in my opinion. But Ernest keeping with him. But yeah, look at that. He's just gained about, what, after the overtake, like through the first few parts of the first sector, he gained so much time, and then on exits, he is just storming away up low speed corners. Wonder what he's done. Really curious about this guy's setup, actually. No.
Maybe he has 6-11 wings or something like that.
Yeah, something ridiculous, yeah.
We might never know. But I think I've raced with HD Storm before, I think, if I remember correctly, and he is quite fast in the wet.
He's a wet driver, is he?
He's okay at
Well,
at every single condition, but we didn't have a lot of instances in the wet, so I don't really know. But the one instance we did have, he did finish quite high, and I finished P20.
Ah, correct. P0.
Oh, we have a retirement.
A retirement from Diegos. Okay,
And safety car.
That is a front right-hand tire that is not attached to a Red Bull.
And we actually have our first safety car as well, as people are going into the pit lane. HD Storm, Ernest, and Patrick following each other. Actually, Patrick is not going in.
So Patrick not going in, jumping the two, maybe going to put on a fresh set of intermediate tires. Towards the end of the race, not a bad idea, because everyone's going to be bunched up, and Mutant's 26-second gap is now going to be reduced to a mere tenths as the safety car does come in. I'm quite sure he's going to be able to get away. Having control of the start of the restart is going to benefit him, or them, I should rather say. But yeah, Sabibass is now back up to P3.
Very good for him. And of course, yes, of course, and all of the gap that Mutant has gained, everything is now going downhill for him as he is near Patrick and everyone else.
Can Mutant put on a fresh set of intermediates and still come out P1? That's a 26-second, nearly a 26-second.
Hello?
Hello. I was just wondering, can Mutant like put on a fresh set of intermediates and still come out P1?
You're lagging a little bit. I don't know if that's only for me.
No, it should be fine on my end.
Wait, I'm gonna
it
try
better?
to rejoin call. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I hope it's good now.
Should be 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, it's better, it's
Alright,
better.
I was just saying, I was wondering if our mutant is coming into the pits. I wonder if he comes out P1. It'd be funny if he does.
Let's
That much
see.
of a gap?
26 seconds. Let's see what he
Let's
does.
see, shall we? Especially under safety car conditions, he should come out P1.
He put
Yeah, he
on
will.
intermediates. Just ahead of him is, I think, Gods. And yeah, like you have said, Mutant is still P1. Which was quite expected, because under safety car conditions you lose only 13 or 14 seconds. And when there isn't a safety car, you lose 26 seconds. So
Yeah,
safety
imagine
car
if there
is
wasn't a safety car there, that would be close.
I think that the gap was around 18 seconds or 19 before it came out, so he would be close to Patrick if he would have be pitted, but I don't think that there would be any necessary pits to be made, because those intermediates I think can go on the end easily.
Well, yeah, well, they can definitely now as well, and I think Sabit Bass will be counting his blessings a little bit here. 5 lap older tyres, but these are intermediates. The only time wear really comes into becomes a problem for intermediate tyres is if it does become dry and then they become the slick intermediates as they have been coined.
Well, the problem is we don't know if it's gonna be slicks, but one thing we do know is that it's still racing. It's still raining quite heavily, so I don't think it's going to be away soon. Maybe at the
Definitely
end,
not.
but we have to wait and see.
It'll be nice to see like a 3-lap sprint when they're all on the intermediates and it dries up and there's no point in pitting, right? Yeah, all the tyres overheating. Like you said.
I've had way too
See what
many
happens.
instances of that in my lifetime. Way too many instances. And
It's like when
not
it starts
ended well.
raining and it's like 2 laps to go and the track really gets wet and you're still on slicks and it's like there's no point in pitting, so let's try.
I think it could actually happen. I had a race in USA, and it did the exact same. It started, I think, dry, then it went to wet, and the final 4 laps it was dry. I stayed on intermediates and actually won that race by 3 seconds, and they were catching up to me on
We have a
softs.
retirement.
Yes, we do. It is Mars. I think it's in the pit lane actually.
Well, we're going to be able to see in a minute as the safety car does round the final corner of this track. As we just need to have a look on the end and see if there's a crash or if it is just a retirement into the pits.
I think it's gonna disappear before we see. Yes, he does.
Yeah,
He did,
so it was
he
a crash,
disappeared.
but unfortunate for the Haas boys today. Although, God should be able to catch up soon, hopefully.
I guess we'll have to wait
Unless
and
he's
see.
being told to go at safety car pace. Not being told to catch up. Then really unfortunate. No, he's not being told to. He's being told to catch up to the back of the queue because he is full blasting it down the straight and really trying to get around these corners.
So we are currently on lap 12. This is our first safety car of the race. Really close to the halfway point of the session. Mutant is currently leading the safety car pack. Just behind him is Patrick with a 3-second time penalty, and his teammate in P3 finishing, actually rounding up the final podium position. So Aston Martin currently doing quite well, but Patrick and Sebastian both have the disadvantage of older intermediates. Both of them having 6-lap old intermediates, while everyone else, except McGinty, have fresher tire and fresher rubber. So we will have to wait and see by how many seconds Mutant can already regain the gap that he had before the safety car.
See how many laps it takes him.
This kind of reminds me of Drake and PC1 in our other league.
Yeah. or in the other league, ERO with Tuca, if you remember that one.
Oh.
But
Sometimes.
yes, 3-second time penalty under safety car for Gods there.
Probably
being told to
pushing
catch
way
up.
too much.
But I think the safety car has been is coming in this lap because Mutant is holding everyone up.
I mean, we didn't get
I didn't
any
see a notification.
notifications, yeah. So I
I
don't
wonder
know.
why he's going so slow. But I'm
Is-
assuming it's because it is time for that thing to come in.
Did it
'Cause
already?
otherwise,
No way. Was
it's
it
a
already
bug
2
for
laps?
us.
Or
Yeah, I think so.
3 laps?
Because he is going a lot slower, isn't he? Is the safety car coming in? It is coming in, I think.
Yes, it is.
It is. So let's see when Mutant wants to get this race back underway, warming up the tyres of the intermediates as he turns the final corner. Not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. Now he's gone. Let's
That
see if the
was
Red Bull
quite
has kept
late.
with him. The Red Bull has kept with him. A little bit.
But he is using all of his ERS and he stays P1. And there is actually a big gap between Sabbath Pass and McGinty behind, as McGinty lost 3 seconds under that safety car. What happened with them?
No idea, but Mutant Unlimited already pulling a bit of a gap to Patrick. Patrick is able to keep up a little bit. He's not left him like Mutant did at the beginning of the race on the slick tires. There is a bit of it. He's just gained about 2/10 in that last part. He's able to keep with him. Let's see how long he can. As the Beatbass has now lost about 2 seconds to Patrick. Maybe Patrick, being behind Mutant, can see some of the lines, see what's going on.
As we have our 3rd retirement of the session, the other Haas driver, and we have another
Haas.
safety car. Nice. At least, at least this gives others the opportunity if they want to go and switch to newer tires. Which we have to
Definitely.
see.
Maybe Sabit Bass and Patrick do take that offer up, but they are in very nice points paying positions, so maybe they do not want to. The drivers behind, I do believe, like maybe apart from Mutant, who does like to storm away from races as he did at the beginning, did that time with Patrick, but maybe Patrick had a bit of a weaker qualifying than he's used to. Maybe he can keep with the Aston Martin. He was doing that under these wet conditions.
Maybe. Is it also raining way heavier than before? Is it gonna be time for wets soon?
Maybe, who knows? But no one pitting at the moment. Again, I'm on the blower to Jeff here. Going weather report, weather report, weather report, weather report.
And we actually
I
have
think
HD Storm. Is he gonna put wets on?
Just be on board with him. See what the decision is. 3 lap old inters.
Maybe
So
he
a bit
could
of a strange
damage.
decision. If it's on another set of inters.
And no damage.
Interesting.
Indeed.
From the Williams there. Maybe he just wants those
Indeed.
fresher tyres.
I don't know.
I think 8 laps is is a decent amount of freshness to catch to Sabibas and Patrick, but he is going to have to get through Ernest, who has shown pace today. And Lucas McGinty, who myself and is it Kirkran? I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that name.
It's okay, it's okay.
Do you know the pace
me.
of Lucas McGinty? Me, yeah, you. But we do know the pace of Lucas. He can be quite quick in comparison to the majority of possibly the pace of this game.
And that's actually the only reason why McGinty has the uppercase name, because in the other league we actually run real names.
Yeah, we have real names being shown. Maybe an idea for this league if they do so want to take it up with them.
Maybe.
But yes, some tyre warming for the drivers, as we only have 6 drivers. We did at the beginning of this race, if you finish you get points. Maybe Haas did feel the pressure at being their home race, as you said earlier. And Red Bull apparently pulling a Max Verstappen and Alex Albon strategy this race.
We might also see in real life maybe Albon doing some secret stuff with Williams and Red Bull. He is still a part of the Red Bull Academy, so there might be some stuff happening between those two teams. As Mutant actually goes into the pit lane.
Ooh, okay. Giving up P1, and Patrick, and Lucas, and Ernest. Okay, so a lot of people going into the pit lane. So Beepus is the only one that didn't.
Is it time for wets?
And
Oh!
obviously-
It's time for wets!
Is it wet tires?
Yes, it is!
Tires. Okay, some
I was
wet
correct.
tires being fitted to the front runners then.
So I was correct in my prediction earlier. It is raining way heavier than before.
Maybe HD Storm wanted to put on the wets and wasn't able to change the tires in time. Would make sense.
Maybe Jeff is just stupid and made a call to go on inters when it was time for wets.
Jeff sitting there going, "You want wets? All right, let's fit the green ring tire on." No, Jeff, I want
Yes, the green ones are
Right.
wet for
The green one.
today's race.
No.
Maybe this is a strategy from the Williams boys that the intermediates are actually wet.
Yes, they have put on the. Pirelli have accidentally given them wet tires that were green ring. Pirelli once again messing up. Apparently, for the Williams boys there. And I remember when Pirelli first came in like 2013 and tires were blowing up left, right, and centre. Good times.
No, definitely. I didn't watch F1 until 2018, but yes, very good times.
Oh, really? Fair enough.
Yeah. But I
You missed the
know.
Sebastian
Yes?
dominance.
I know a lot about F1, even though I've only been a fan from 2018. I know almost everything about it because I'm a major nerd only for F1. Only.
But the safety car is in this lap. So we
Yes,
do
it
need to keep
is.
an eye on these two at the front. Let's see if they want to stick on their tyres. As Lucas McGinty has overtaken Ernest under safety car. And it's been allowed to stick.
I don't know why that is happening, but as you have said, the safety car is in this lap. Now the only problem for our two drivers of Sabatabas and HD Storm, who are still in intermediates, we need to see if it's going to be lighter, the rain, if it's going to be lighter in the next few laps, because this is not really good for them, and they are still not going into the pit lane. As
They're doing a risk as Sabit really holds everyone up. Still hasn't gone yet.
and
Hasn't gone.
now-
He's gone.
Oh, and McGinty
As Lucas
switches up.
McGinty is
Oh,
all the way up to P2. Oh, there's a slam from Mutant as McGinty all
McGinty's
the way to
P1.
P2. Great restart from him as he goes P1 as the big bus has gone wide. Maybe those inters can't grip enough. HD Storm getting a 3-second time penalty. The Aston Martin boys right at the back now as the wet runners are in the front. I do apologize for interrupting you there. But Lucas McGinty, fantastic safety car restart from him as he is already pulled a second gap.
You are lagging.
Apologies.
You are lagging. Your voice is. So you go. You talk and then you stay quiet and then you talk again. You're lagging
Fair enough.
quite a bit.
Hello, 1, 2.
I think it's better now.
Okay, sorry about that. Sorry for interrupting you the entire time, and sorry if that came across as lagging. I was just saying that Lucas McGinty, fantastic restart.
Of course.
Already got 1.5 second gap.
And we had a spin of Sabatabas in the Aston Martin behind. He is now 10 seconds behind his teammate, Mutant, who is actually not having the best restart, our fastest driver today, as he has a lot of traffic to regain if he wants to get P1 again. HD Storm, Patrick, and Ernest just ahead of him, currently fighting for P2, as both of them get a really bad exit out of turn 15, now going into turn 16, 17, and 18, and the cars are so slow on this part as the wet conditions are currently not good. As HD Storm actually stays out on intermediates, so it might dry out.
He's doing well on these intermediate tyres, going side by side with Patrick down the start finish straight. Probably going to make the move into P1, P2, P for 3. But Patrick is coming back side by side through the corner. See if they keep it clean. They do. As Mutant does take advantage.
Oh, there's contact.
Oh, the Red Bull has spun. Unfortunate for Patrick there. Maybe Sabit Bass is even going to overtake him.
And he does.
Yeah, unlucky.
And we have another yellow
keeping
flag.
Up. Maybe it's like the crossover period where the intermediates can still keep up and still grip, but it's not wet enough for them to be bad, if that makes sense.
But if it is going to be lighter, HD Storm is looking for a very good position in today's race, as he won't have to make a pit stop. But McGinty, Ernest, and Mutant, and Patrick as well will have to go into the pit lane to switch to inters. As Mutant is looking
trying
up.
to make a move on HD Storm. Thinks better of it.
He's looking up a lot.
Who is Storm or Mutant?
Mutant.
That might just be how he drives. You know, some people with oh no, he's just looked up there and gone very wide.
Maybe it's time for inters.
Yeah, maybe they have to pit again. How many pit stops have had there? I'm gonna have a look.
I think it is going to be 4 if they go into the pit lane. Yeah, 4.
So, Lucas has done 3 stops. Ernest has done 3 stops. HD Storm has done 3 stops, but he's on intermediate tyres, so he might not need to make another one. Mutant's done 3 stops, so Beatbus has only done 1. He's stuck on those inters ever since the crossover period, so fair enough to him. Like sticking to his guns. 10 laps to go of this American Grand Prix.
People going very wide
Patrick
into turn 1. Yes, he is. But he is gaining on Sabbath Bass a little bit. Or actually, he's losing a lot of time on him. As we see our drivers going now to the final part of Sector 1. HD Storm is currently closing in on Ernest for P2 in today's race. HD Storm has a penalty of 3 seconds, which is not really good for his name. But as we've said before, it might be lighter with the rain, so maybe he will be P1 after everyone else makes their pit stop for intermediates, as he is now trying to go on Ernest into turn 11, I think that is, as Ernest is defending the inside
Ernest
line.
does go defensive.
As he locks
Is there
up.
a move being made?
No, there isn't.
That's a good exit for HD Storm, but not enough as he dives in, locks up into turn 13, I think that is, that isn't able to make the move. Unfortunate for the Williams, but he's going to try and make the outside move here, going the corner just before, like probably my favourite corners on the calendar at the moment.
I don't really like that part, as the car is just way too
Mutant's gone in.
It's weird.
Mutant's going into the pit lane.
Mutant. And HD Storm is going on a move on Ernest, as Mutant is in the pit lane. And HD Storm goes around the inside, down the inside, and he makes the move stick, as Mutant is on intermediates.
So let's see if the... Oh, Diegos has left the session, but he had DNF'd ages ago. Let's see if these intermediates are faster. Let's see if he can catch up to Lucas McGinty. He's already gained 2 tenths, so maybe they are. Maybe Lucas McGinty is just going to stick it out on those wets to see if he can just get a good finishing position. Making a pit stop now probably throws him down to about P5, which not what you want. Maybe even P6 behind Mutant.
So,
So we'll see what happens.
of course, as the race currently stands, we are on lap 19. Currently, Lucas McGinty is leading the race, but HD Storm is closing that gap by a long shot, as he has gained 8 tenths in just a couple of corners. So it is drawing out a little bit. So after the race, we are of course going to have an interview with our top 3 drivers. So if you don't want to be in the interview, don't finish on the podium.
Pretty much, yeah. You don't want to talk after the race? Don't bother. just crash now.
and
Just
we,
fly off into a wall.
and I think Ernest has done just that as he has spun.
Oh dear. You heard us on the stream was like, don't want to talk.
and we have another spin
as-
of Lucas.
Another spin from Lucas McGee. Yeah, maybe those wets aren't doing well as HD Storm does overtake him. Those wets maybe not enough as Sabit Bass. Just want to say, ballsy strategy call, just sticking it out on those intermediate tyres. 14 laps sold. It's going to be a lot slower than the other intermediate runners, but I don't think that's going to affect him as Patrick is going into the pit lane, probably for Inter's Mutant, now overtakes him.
But
As
it's
he goes into the pit
interesting.
lane.
It's interesting why McGinty didn't go into the pit lane for intermediates, as he sees that intermediates are definitely faster. He's only losing time for himself. And way too much time.
Maybe he doesn't want to be on the podium, so...
Maybe. I have just cursed everyone in the race.
Yeah. No one wants to be on the podium, so they're like, I'm alright.
Lucas losing a lot of the back end of the car just before the main straight. Already 3 seconds behind HD Storm. He's gonna emerge in P5 probably after he makes his pit stop. Oh, locks up heavily into turn 13 or 12 or 11. I don't know.
A lot of the corners, because they're very sane, they're very samey. I always get mixed up. Like the beginning of Sector 3, for example, like the first 2 corners of those are basically the exact same in 2 different directions, in my opinion. One going to the right and one going to the left before the long sweeping right-hander of 16, 17 and 18. Which I don't understand why they're 3 separate corners.
I don't know.
Track designer, what are you doing? As Lucas McGee goes into the pits.
Did Herman design the Austin GP?
If he did, probably explains why sometimes it's a bore to race. As Ernest stays out on the wets,
And
but he does go a bit deep, so not doing very well there. Does Lucas McGinty come out in front? Oh no, it's going to be close. No, it's not. But he's probably going to gain that time on Ernest because he's on the wet tyres.
And maybe
Back
on
to the front
Mutant.
of the... Oh, go on. Go on.
No, I just wanted to say that maybe on Mutant as well, maybe he can overtake him.
Maybe, but Mutant has shown quite a bit of pace. Let's see if this 11-second gap is going to be shortened between him and his teammate. Oh no, it's not 11 seconds. Sorry, is it? It's 6 seconds, isn't it? Because from the leader. Is it from the leader? Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. No, it's intervals. I'm sorry.
You can
He does
change
have a
it.
10-second gap.
You can change it from intervals to the leader if you want.
Ah, yes. Yeah, so it is a 10-second gap from Sabit Bass to Mutant, who has a 16-second gap to HD Storm. If HD Storm, commentator's curse incoming, but if he keeps it clean and and calm, he will probably win this race. In my opinion, not who I was expecting to win the race, so he's in a very good position. But Sabit Bass is catching him on 9-lap older tyres.
As HD Storm is currently leading the race, very good actually from him, as he did a 3-stop, stayed on the intermediates while everyone else went on wets, and benefited a while off of that decision. It has paid off.
Well, Sabit Bass is now back into P2, which is impressive considering the beginning of the race. Beginning of the race when the wet stint came into play. He really did start to struggle, but back into P2 for him. The gap between Sabitbus and Mutant, I believe, is now 9 seconds. 8 seconds. So, Mutant really gaining on his teammate.
But if this keeps up, we will see a double podium for Aston Martin, which is going to be very good in the Constructors' Championship.
Mr. Lawrence Stroll would be very happy.
Of course, and I think that one of the drivers is actually using his number. No, it's actually 13, okay. Vettel is 5, I think.
Vettel is 5 and Stroll is 18?
I think it's 18, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's 18. I'm not sure. I don't really pay attention to Lance Stroll that often, so I'm not really sure what his number is.
What has happened? We need to know.
I more pay attention to number 4 and number 3.
It's actually nice how Sabitbus is running a number 12 and Mutant number 13, the unlucky 13.
Yeah, to be fair, he has been quite unlucky this race with the 2 safety cars when he did pull out like a 25-second gap. But he is gaining a lot on his teammate. He's gained about a second so far this lap. If he continues to do that, he might get on the end of his teammate by the beginning of the last lap if he can continue gaining this time.
There is still 5 laps remaining in the race, and
Start of lap 23, yeah.
Yes, Sabitbus is actually not gaining any time on the HD Storm, which makes sense because 17 lap old intermediates versus 8 lap old intermediates makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But HD Storm does have that penalty.
Yeah, if he can try and get within those 3 seconds, he does have a chance of winning the race. I like how Mutant Unlimited is just literally taking Sector 1 like it's a dry track. Very clean. But if Sabitbus can get in range of those 3 seconds, then he might be in a good position to win the race. Mutant Unlimited is 10 seconds away from the leader, so maybe another one that, if he keeps gaining the time that he does, he might be able to get within those 3 seconds and still another position from HD Storm. But we'll have to see. He has to really put the hammer down.
Lucas in the McLaren is looking quite safe in P4, not having any dangers from Patrick or Ernest behind. So I think this is going to be where the grid is going to end up, as we have another spin from Ernest.
Yep. You know, wet conditions can be quite tricky, as Mutant has once again taken about a second chunk out of his teammate. Okay, 14 lap fresher tyres are a thing, but it does show the pace of this guy, as Ernest does get a 3-second time penalty.
This literally reminds me of Drake. way too fast. Way too fast.
Mutant is proving his pace of the league. Now that I think that it was the championship leader, the 2 Mercedes guys have possibly left. Might be a way for Aston Martin to claw back some points against Mercedes. Maybe 2 more drivers for Mercedes will enter and be a problem for them as well. Who knows?
Or Mutant will also leave because everyone's no match for him, yeah. Like the 2 Mercedes boys. But anything can happen. We never know what happens in the next race or in between today and next Thursday.
I do have to wonder if Mutant is on the blower to his team, you know. Can you tell Sabitbus to let me past? Because if he does, if he gets a clean overtake on Sabitbus, if it's not as confrontive, he's definitely probably going to be able to get within 3 seconds of HG Storm and take this win.
I think even if they're not talking to each other, I think Sabitbus can declare for himself that Mutant is definitely gaining like 5 seconds every lap. So it would be beneficial just to let him go, and then try to keep up with him, and then try to make it a 1-2 for Aston
Martin. Yeah, that'll be a very nice result for the boys in green. Man, I want to say was so happy when Aston Martin came in and they chose green, because I used to watch F1 like back in the days of Jaguar, and seeing that green car on the grid was one of my favorites when I was a kid. So seeing another green car on the grid always makes me happy.
Definitely. And the only thing that I really didn't like about the 2021 Aston is the pink line on the side.
Alpine have to deal with that now.
Yeah, because of BWT is such a bad
BWT.
sponsor. Why are you in the sport even? Why?
I think they were fine when they were with Racing Point or Force India. Like, I liked seeing a pink car on the grid, but I don't like seeing a little bit of pink on the grid. You either go pink or you go home. That's my opinion.
Yes, I definitely agree with you. And then Alpine has way too much pink and way too little of blue.
Yeah.
Way too much pink.
It's like
Yes.
there is a part of it where it's just like, you've gone a bit too far there, chum. Like, calm down.
If they used the entire car pink, like they will have in the first two races, I would be fine with that. But the livery that they are going to use is so bad.
It's going to be a move from Mutant onto Sabit Bass. Sabit Bass is fighting it. I think that is a bad thing to do. They are side by side going into turn 13. Sabit Bass trying to still fight it. Please don't make contact between the Aston Martin boys, as
there was
Mutant
contact.
are able to, or like meaningful contact. I do apologise for interrupting you there.
Of course, it's okay.
But Mutant can now hunt down. He's only 2 seconds out from HD Storm, who has proven he's got pace this race, but Mutant's just been on another level. 2 seconds to make within three laps, 2 laps even. If he can make it, he's going to win this race on penalties.
But there is still 2 laps of the race, so this is just going to be an endurance to see if Mutant can gain those 2 seconds on HD Storm, which I think we will see that.
I think he definitely will, but I think it might be a bit close. If HD Storm has shown pace over this race, especially sticking on to those intermediates, it's made Mutant's job a lot harder. But maybe it'll make it feel that bit more sweeter to have to fight for the win instead of just running off with it.
Of course.
Definitely feels like that for me. When I win a race, I prefer to fight for the win instead of just run away.
You know what I also find funny about Alpine?
Oh, what, the car for the new season?
You know how Ocon drove for Force India in 2017 and 18, and then they fired him, and now he's in Alpine and has the exact same colors of the Force India that fired him first.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
And then Alonso, oh my god, he looks so bad in pink.
He looked so downtrodden. He was like, yes, I get to go back to my old team. This is where I won 2 world champion pink. That's Lucas McGinty. Sabitas has spun. So Lucas McGinty gets promoted to P3.
But McGinty also gets a bad line.
Is within that 3-second gap within the lap, so he might even try to win this on track.
There is 2 laps remaining in the race. Lap 27 at the moment. The rain is lighting up just slightly. I don't think it's gonna be dry at the final lap, but that could be interesting. I don't know.
It just immediately dries up and then we're on like worn intermediates on a dry circuit. Hell yeah.
Let's just turn on the light switch and then all dry. All dry.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn off the shower now. As he gains so much time through Sector 1, there's so much time being made. Like, Mutant, if he doesn't spin, commentator's curse, has won this race. But he might try and win it on track as he's closing in. He's within a second now. No DRS under wet conditions, but he's so close. We could have a last lap fight for pride on track. Possibly, right?
I think he just needs to keep it safe. You know what happened with that? I mean, PC2 when he was fighting with someone with 15 seconds of penalties, and then they crashed on the final lap on the final corner of the race. I was so
Yeah.
furious when that happened. Oh my god. So
Let's see.
so please keep it clean and take this win as he's trying to go around the inside. Oh my god.
Oh my god! As he's really looking for this move, wants to win on track, doesn't want to win through penalties. I respect it, but it's a very risky thing to do. You've won the race, Mutant. Keep it clean, keep it safe. As they are exiting the final corner, HC Storm dumping a lot of battery. So is Mutant Unlimited into the first corner. Not close enough. Surely there's not going to be a move made into the first sector, into the S section, is there?
I hope not. I hope not. As we are on board with Mutant trying to make a move, maybe, if he wants to do it. AHD Storm going very slowly in the sector 1, but still ahead of him. Currently on the final lap of the race, AHD Storm going very deep, but has a very good line on this next corner, and Mutant gets the penalty!
This is so this is a last lap sprint 4 race win! Oh, this has changed everything! Mutant has to overtake now!
Overtake him!
This is brilliant!
This is not good!
Oh, this is the final lap. ERS being dumped from both drivers. We know that HD Storm probably has a much higher downforce setup. Let's see if he's going to take a defensive line into turn 12. Side by side, taking the outside line is Mutant. HD Storm.
And he's squeezing him off track. Not even any space, and they nearly crash. They nearly crash. Oh my god!
The move's been the switch has been Storm.
And there is nearly contact as he collides with him, and now Mutant tries to go around the outside, and he.
They're going side by side through this. Sabine Bass with a 3-second. We don't care about that at the moment. They're going
and
side
he goes round the outside.
The move has been made.
Round the outside.
Fantastic.
Oh, there's contact. Oh my god.
Oh, but your race winner.
Oh god.
Mutant comes home in with a I don't want to say fantastic move around the outside of 16, 17 and 18. Had to make it stick. Oh.
My voice is gone from that. What a final lap. Oh my god. And there was actually contact as HD Storm that didn't brake for turn 19, and they collided. But thankfully, no spins, and they take
No
P1,
spins
2,
or
and
anything
3.
like that.
McGinty
Right.
is the final guy on the podium, and we are currently watching Ernest to finish off the race.
Unfortunate race from Ernest. I think he qualified quite high up there as well. I think P3. I think he qualified, if my memory serves.
He qualified, yeah, P3.
Yeah, unfortunate race from him, but good race from Lucas McGinty. To be fair, started I want to say P8 because he crashed in qualifying and gets onto the podium. Fair play to him.
He started P8 on mediums, which looked like didn't go well because rain came instantly, but managed to get on the final spot on the podium as Ernest rounds up P6, gets 8 points for Alpine. What a race, or what a final lap! Oh my god! And HD Storm is the game's driver of the day. I actually don't know who to give my driver of the day.
My driver of the day will probably go towards. I'm either going to give it to HD Storm or Mutant, because Mutant did have to do a bit of a comeback to get this win.
Of course.
As we are going to get some drivers in for some. So only 2 people. So we do have 1 driver in for an interview, I do believe.
Well,
I believe this is Lucas McGinty.
Can you ping the other 2, please, while I
They don't have
finish?
mics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they just said they don't have mics, but congratulations to Mutant and HD Storm for P1, P2, and we are joined by our 3rd place driver, Lucas McGinty. How do you feel the race went, man?
I feel it could have gone a lot better for me. I had an unfortunate spin, pushed a little too hard, and I think when I was about to change my tires, I completely missed the pit entry and went onto the track again. I had to do another lap on the wets, which were scalding hot.
I can only imagine how hot they were on a drying track. We were saying in commentary it'll be really interesting if it like suddenly all dried up at the last lap and you're all on inters and you don't want to pit because of
Yeah.
positions.
Jeff did say that there's gonna be heavy rain for another 20 minutes. So, like, yeah, okay, I'll go for the wets. As soon as I put the wets on, he's like, the track is dry now. Intermediate in the next few laps.
Oh, brilliant, right?
Yeah, so that was then.
So, an unfortunate DNF in qualifying. But what actually happened there? We didn't really catch it on the stream. Did you just push too hard going around on those mediums, or?
I was actually adjusting myself on my chair.
Oh,
Yeah, and yeah, I just spun.
fair
Quite
enough.
unfortunate.
Yeah, that's unlucky when you have to adjust mid lap and off it pops. Yeah, well, congratulations for P3. Putting McLaren on the board, I believe, in not on the board, but like bumping them up a few positions in the constructors, and giving yourself a solid 15 points.
Yeah, thank you.
You are going to rejoin in P4, I think, just ahead of HD, or I think behind them. You are pretty close. How do you reckon that in the next race we will go? Yeah.
I haven't looked at the calendar. Not sure what track it is, but I'll make sure to have some practice in before then. This race I didn't really have it. I've 10 minutes practice beforehand. Hopefully it'll go a lot better for me. Like P3 is still good, but I always want to push for a higher place.
Well, P3 when starting P8 with an unfortunate qualifying session, I'd say that was a job well done. Definitely one of my drivers of the day, I will say.
Of course.
Thank you.
Not really any other questions from me, to be fair, because it kind of quietened down a lot when 3 of the drivers DNF'd. But how was it? The only other thing I could really say is like you had a bit of a fight with at the beginning of the race when the intermediate conditions hit. You were sort of in that 4 to 5 car train. What were you thinking during that time? Were you just trying to keep it clean and safe, or were you just like gunning for positions? Because I do believe you span at one point.
Yeah, I did try to go for more positions as I felt like the drivers in front of me had a bit lower pace than me, so I was like, might as well go for the positions. But unfortunately, yeah, I think I dove on Patrick by not intentionally, but it just happened. I think I kind of locked up there, and then I went ahead for a sabot pass, and we touched a little, and I span.
That happens. It's the nature of racing, I guess.
Yeah.
You're trying to push and sometimes over push that little bit too much. But still, once again, congratulations P3, put you P4 as Kick. I'm just gonna call you Kick. It's easy. As Kick here said, congratulations on a fantastic race.
Thank you.
Of course.
And I think that is it for us here, I believe.
Yes, it is. If you don't have anything else to say, we can round things off, and I will say just the fan few things.
The only thing I have left to say is thank you to Nitrous Racing for allowing me to commentate on a fantastic PC race. I hope to be back next week, or if they need another driver, I don't mind strapping on the old wheel.
And same here. So, thank you for watching the Nitrous Racing League today race in Austin. Before we end, I would just like to say thank you to our sponsors, BCR Esports, Interodata, and BCR Esports. Thank you for sponsoring us, and thank you for our partners, Boa F1, Nicholas F1 TV, and Inside Curb Racing, and also KDL Racing League. Thank you for partnering with us, and we hope to stay in contact for a few more years or maybe months. And I think that is it. You can also follow us on Twitch to keep up with the races that are happening. We have a lot of PlayStation tiers. I don't know on what days they are, but the most important one, of course, is PC, happening every Thursday, like
And
today.
hey, if you do have a PC and you fancy getting on track, you can always join us. We
Of
need more
course.
drivers, it seems. So
Yes, we do. We do need indeed. So that was it for us. My name is Kickerlin, and with me commentating today was Ryan, and
it's been a pleasure.
we hope to see you next Thursday for another Nitrous Racing League race. See you then, and stay safe.
Goodbye.